been filming in the living room a lot, which is actually kind of what this video is about. I was one of those creative kids where every time I would find myself in a creative rut, my first instinct would always be rearrange the room, move the furniture, buy a magazine, find some new things to put on the wall. And that's carried me through college, through literally every apartment I've ever lived in, and I'm feeling that right now. I've lived in this apartment for almost 2 years, and that is usually around the time I start to feel a little claustrophobic in my environment. I decorated this apartment very well and I love everything that I've done, but just sometimes you get stuffy and you want to change things up. And so I'm planning a pretty major change. Actually, I'm switching my office and my bedroom, flip-flopping the two. My apartment has a sort of interesting layout. It's the biggest apartment I've ever lived in. I live in Las Vegas now. I used to live in New York City. If you've ever lived in New York, you know the apartments are closet-sized, so I'm very spoiled in my Las Vegas apartment. And so how I set it up, I have the living room here, the kitchen is on that side, and then over here, kind of tucked in the corner, was this huge dining nook. Like huge. I think I've had bedrooms smaller than this dining nook during my time living in New York City. And so I had this great idea. Living room, kitchen area, not a dining nook, a bedroom nook, a cute little studio apartment. And then on the other side, behind a closed door, that's where my office would be. So I would have this separation of work and living relaxation. I did a whole home tour video. It's mostly up to date. There's a few little decoration changes that I've made, but if you want to watch that, I will link it up in the cards. And I will say, I feel like a lot of people think the layout might be kind of weird, but it worked for me. And it still is working for me. That's the bedroom specifically. That's working very well. Wouldn't change a thing, love that. The issue is the office. In theory, it made sense to put my office in there and have that separation. In practice, there were a few flaws in the plan, which I have discovered having lived here for a while, and that's why I'm changing it. So for today, I'm just switching the furniture. I'm not really going to think too much about layout or decoration. I'm just switching the furniture. I'm going to give myself a little bit of time to get used to each room with its new function. And if I feel like it's working better, then I will do a full out decoration moment. So first, what's working in the bedroom and how I'll implement it in the new room. I love a bed that's against the wall. I like sleeping against the wall. I like being covered in pillows. So where I move the bed will be against the wall. I really love my floor cushion behind my bed. At this present moment, I'll probably just store it underneath my bed. But when I work on the layout, I'm definitely gonna have some sort of cozy corners, so it will come back out. And I love the little purple on purple moment. But again, that's not really something we're working on for today. The one thing I would say that doesn't work the best in the bedroom as it is now, it is a little bit bright. I'm not someone who needs complete darkness to sleep, and I don't like sleeping with blackout curtains. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It hasn't really been much of a problem, but I know the bedroom will be slightly darker. So we'll fix that. Now for the office, what's working? The voiceover booth in the closet, staying the same. And I'm going to keep my streaming setup in the bedroom now. So editing, gaming, sleeping. That's what the bedroom function is going to be. It's going to mostly be cosplay content creation. That's moving out here. Also, the couch that I have in my current office, future bedroom, that's going to stay in there. That's where I film my podcast. It's all Geek to Me with my friend Kelly. So in this furniture rearrangement, I'm prioritizing keeping that exactly the same so that while I'm figuring this out and my apartment's probably going to be crazy for a few weeks, I want to make sure that the podcast setup is ready to go when we need to film new episodes. And that's working. Yeah, that'll probably stay in there. And my original idea of having this separation of living and working, that for the most part did work. But the more that I think about it and have lived here, the bedroom is actually not the best choice for that separation because the bathroom is through there. So regardless of how much I close my door and try to hide my work behind it, I still need to walk through there every day after work is done. The dining nook, on the other hand, is tucked back there, and that feels like the best place to leave my work for the end of the night. So that's what's working, kind of segueing into what's not working, other things that aren't working. I really wanted to film majority of my stuff in the office, but I just feel very drawn to filming in the living room just because it's a lot brighter. There are better spaces in here. There's a lot more floor space. And when I'm working on cosplays and stuff, I tend to get some late night energy. So sometimes I want to be up to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning working on things, but I worry about being disrespectful to my neighbors, since this is a bedroom over here, it shares a wall with another bedroom and then it's above another bedroom. So I don't want to be walking around in there, keeping people up late at night. So there's been so many times where I'm taking my sewing machine and my desk and I'm bringing it into here. I wouldn't have to do that if the sewing stuff was all in the dining room. And I feel like my creativity has been stifled a little bit because of that, because I can't work when the energy is the most potent for me. All right, so those are all the reasons why I am making this big change. Now it is time to do it. Actually, first I'm going to take the makeup off that I'm wearing because I feel like this is going to be a workout. There's a lot to move. I didn't work out today, so that's perfect. But yeah, gonna take the makeup off and then we will time lapse cleaning out the office. So I had a little unexpected voiceover booth makeover as well. The desk that I'm using in here now used to be where my sewing machine was, and the desk I'm now going to use for my sewing machine used to sit right up against this wall here. And so now the desk is turned to a different angle because this desk is a little bit smaller. So I'm going to fill in all those white gaps there with more foam, and then it doesn't look like there's a ton of room here to walk through to the rest of my closet, but there is. And then yeah, rest of my closet's still just there. But yeah, very easy to walk through. The thing with voiceover booths is they always have to be mildly inconvenient. And this definitely is mildly inconvenient. Hello, it is the next day, last night, first night in the new bedroom, and it is vibing pretty well. I really was getting that nice separation and decompression that I was looking for. I think that change will be very nice and actually give me what I was looking for when I originally made the space we're in right now, the bedroom. And I will show you what the bedroom's looking like. That's where we're gonna sign off, but there's a little bit more work I wanted to do in the sewing room today. I know I said I wasn't going to focus too much on the layout. Like in the bedroom, I know the layout is completely wrong, but it's gonna work for now. But in here, there was just one more thing I wanted to try before I let this layout live for a bit. And there's a few reasons. First, starting with the curtains. So we have the purple curtains in here right now. I do think that those are going to end up in the bedroom, but the bedroom has these black and gold curtains, and I don't see them living in here. So what I've done is I've taken those black and gold curtains and I've switched them with the curtains that I have in my entryway. Those are olive green curtains, and I'm going to bring them into here. And then for the time being, this window is not going to have any curtain. The reason I'm doing that is because I started seeing this space back here as a really, really good place to film costume reveals, even to film my auditions. Because I'm an actor, I do self-tapes, and where I usually film my costume reveals is also where I do my auditions. But I really love the idea of doing a green curtained background instead of just a plain white wall. I think it looks a little bit more stylized, and so I want to switch around the layout just to give that a try. And also, where I have this shelf right now is probably the only place in the sewing room that I'm going to be able to put up my pegboard. I still have the pegboard in the bedroom right now because it's hanging up on the wall, but it's where I have my thread, things like that. That needs to come in here, and it needs to be accessible near all the other crafting stuff. This wall will be perfect for it. So here is the vision. We've got the sewing table here, we've got the crafting table here, the drawers. Oh shoot, where are the drawers gonna go? I'll figure it out. The drawers and the shelf and the guitar. Guitar is going in the bedroom. I think then the rainbow shelves will move where the guitar is. This shelf will move in that corner over here, and then both of these desks will just move down this way. So the crafting desk will be here, the sewing desk will be here. And we'll figure out, you know, with the mannequin and stuff where that's going to live, but I'm just trying to give this window its moment. So let's do that now. I wanted to see how easy it would be if I did want to use this space for an audition, how easy it would be to get it ready. So lights are all set up. All I'd have to do, move that out of the way, move the clothing rack out of the way. Oop, got a little. Ready for an audition. I like this green. I think this is pretty fun. It's just nice to have a different style other than the white wall to play with. So I'm definitely gonna rock with this layout for a while. And there's obviously a good amount of organization that needs to be done in here. Changing up some of the artwork, figuring out what I'm going to do with the other curtain, but it's absolutely functional and I'm very excited to start working in here. When I do revisit this room, who knows, I might try different furniture, but yeah, I'm enjoying how the layout's looking for the time being. So let's head into the bedroom. We are going to put those purple curtains up and sign off. I'll show you how that room looks and we'll say goodbye. That's where I'm going to wrap things up for this organizing vlog. I'm excited to give these new spaces a try. So I just put my bed in the corner where I took out all of the furniture that's in the sewing room now. So this corner used to have the sewing table, the craft table, that shelf, the rainbow drawers, and we just did a little flip-flop. And so far, I'm enjoying it. You may notice I don't have my bed frame anymore. I'm actually planning on selling that bed frame. Right now it's sitting in a sort of inconvenient place, but that is the second bed frame I've had since I've lived in Vegas. I sold the other one, so I am hopeful that I'll be able to sell this one pretty quickly. And I'm gonna sit on buying a new bed frame for a minute. I'm looking for something sort of specific, and I just don't wanna make any impulsive choices, but this is fine. I don't mind sleeping on the floor, especially because I don't have a place to put my floor cushion that used to be in my bedroom, so that is living under the couch now. As much as I love a wall bed, I also love a floor bed. I like being close to the ground, so this isn't the worst thing in the world. I'd say the biggest inconvenience is that I am missing some places to store things. So right now next to my couch is just full of bins, cosplay bins, and other things that were underneath my bed. There was a rug under my bed that I forgot I had, so I also listed the rug, trying to sell that too. But I'm definitely not gonna think about buying a bed frame until I sell the old bed frame. So hopefully that will sell quickly. Yeah, also in this room too, there isn't a lot of good storage solutions. You can see here in the corner, this is mostly my makeup, nail polish, that kind of stuff. This is a long-term problem. I would love one of those hydraulic beds that you can like lift up and there's storage underneath. I had a good system for storing when this was the office, but now that the sewing room is the office, not so much. That is all living next to the couch. That will be fine for a short period of time, but definitely going to have to remedy that soon. And I think the best way would be to get a storage bed. So this is not the end of this redecorating, though it is where we're going to end it now. Thank you for coming along for this redecorating vlog. If you're enjoying the content on my channel, do not forget to subscribe, comment down below, share these videos, help me reach more people. I've been having a lot of fun bringing a lot of cosplay content, especially to the shorts channel, and this reorganizing, this refresh will definitely give me a little creative refresh that I needed as well. So until next time, my name is Leah and I'll see you soon. Peace out.
Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 난 겨울. Yeah, 가을거 blood. Yeah, 너와 있을 때 I swear. 제가 먼저 zero. 폭설한 그 chill day.